I was genuinely invited to Harry and Meghan's wedding today, but I said no because I had to come here and do this.
David's team.
Why were you invited?
Well, that, David, is as much of a shock to me as it is to you. I'm on
Do
the
you
telly.
know, for example, Prince Harry or Meghan Markle?
Well, I've met Prince Harry and he was very nice and he did say that he was a fan of this show. So he's definitely seen me because I'm on this show.
If this is true, it's a bit of a blow to me and Rob. Because, I wasn't invited. Maybe Rob was as well.
I really can't say.
I think we know if Rob was invited, he would be able to say.
Well, this is interesting because I want to know if you were invited, because as soon as I got the invite, I met Prince Harry and I know he's a fan of the show, so I immediately assumed that you two had been invited as well.
Yeah.
So I went to phone you, and I phoned you first, and I put the phone down, because I didn't want to ask in case you hadn't been invited. I thought it wouldn't be a good idea.
Yes, it would be a horrible thing to let slip, wouldn't it?
Yes.
If you'd been invited, it would be a horrible thing to do to someone under any circumstances, even if it wasn't in public.
So you think he's going, OK, George Clooney, David Beckham, Oprah Winfrey, Lee.
Oh, you didn't even know my surname.
I should point out to people watching at home that it is the royal wedding day today. Yeah. As we record this, it happened today, didn't it?
And it was a lovely wedding as well.
Look, it brought people together, didn't it? And you know what I'm glad about? Yeah. I'm glad he wasn't there.
Yes. That would have spoiled it for me, I think.
Did it come through the post?
It went through my agent.
So it was more like a booking. Were they expecting you to do some of your silly humour or something?
Did you have a +1 as well?
Yes, I did.
And so your wife was happy for you to come and do this instead of going to the royal wedding?
Well, actually, my wife couldn't go anyway. So that was the other problem as well. And then I thought, well, who would I take? And I did actually think of one of you two. I thought that's going to be more awkward. So I immediately... But then I thought maybe it's not awkward if David's been invited, as I suspected, and Rob hasn't. I'll take Rob. And then we're all going. There was a lot of social etiquette. I was a mess.
That is the other question. Why didn't... Because the wedding finished...
Well, this is the irritating thing.
1.
Yes,
and then there was a lunch.
I got the invite that said the wedding is going to be at 12 o'clock. And I thought in my head no one would say 12 o'clock, meaning that's when the wedding is. That would mean, you know, you turn up at 12 o'clock and then you go through all the rigmarole of security, blah, 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 and actually the wedding's going to be about 2. Then you've got the actual ceremony, then you've got the meal. I wasn't going to get here because...
Yes, it's like when you buy theatre tickets. The time is just when they think you should leave home.
Look, lads, I appreciate you're angry.
Yeah. Very angry.
I didn't write the invites.
Very angry and very hurt and very bruised, whether this is true or not. That's the terrible thing, because my thought processes have gone down the lines of it being true, and it feels like I've been through it emotionally, even if I haven't.
OK, time to decide.
Well,
I think it's unlikely. I'd love it to be true, but I think it's unlikely.
I wouldn't.
This has been... this has been one of the most psychologically damaging thought experiments I've ever gone through. And so I couldn't... I don't think I could pronounce the words, I think this is true. Oh, I just did.
You think it's true?
We're going to say lie?
I think lie.
Lie, we're going to say lie.
I've a horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach that it's true. It's like waiting with a specialist for a result.
Yeah. Ironically, if this is true, when that moment comes for both of us, it'll just be a mercy.
Tell us. They think it's a lie. I pray it's a lie.
It is, in fact, true.
Well, I hope that's the last question of the evening.
Well,
how did you
thank
keep
you
that
for
secret?
watching. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for watching.
Oh, actually, there's something else as well. Sorry, I've got to tell you this as well, which is quite important. This is a true story as well. I was lying. Look at this smile on his little face. Look at his little happy face. Prince Philip told me I was a funny-looking fellow when I was a ball boy at Wimbledon.
David's team.
What year was this?
Oh, I was about 12 or 13, about 84, maybe? Something like that, ages ago.
How did you get into being a ball boy?
How did I get into it? Well, I just psyched myself up. Some balls today, yeah! I love it, man.
Okay. How does the system of
I
selecting
was
ball boys work? And
I was in a
you
tennis
manage?
club in my sort of local village, and I used to play tennis, and there was a lottery thing, and you could go along, and 2 people from every tennis club went along.
Yeah, I thought they were from sort of schools around the Wimbledon area. That's what I thought.
Where were you at school, Jimmy?
The Wimbledon area.
Wow, he's really foxed us there.
And you were lined up, all the ball boys and ball girls.
Yeah, it was after the women's final. Everyone's lined up, like hundreds of us.
Which final? Who had played?
It was years ago. It was the Ivan Lendl kind of era.
He's unlikely to make the women's final.
Who was Prince Philip there with?
I think it's the Duke and Duchess of Kent or something. I don't really know the royals that well.
That's the thing, it's usually the Duke and Duchess of Kent that do all the Wimbledon stuff, rather than Prince Philip, who's got more important sporting events to go and be racist at. I don't believe you're a ball boy at Wimbledon, but I just don't think Prince Philip often turns up to Wimbledon.
He does. He does, actually. He told me I was a funny-looking fellow when I was there, so...
Yeah, no...
that's how I know that, yeah.
That's a clincher, then.
Do you have any concept of what particular aspect of your demeanour that he found funny-looking?
I can answer this. We'll all have a go. We'll start with it. We'll go around like that. What's funny about my massive head?
Do you think you frightened the prince with your appearance? Is that... he was actually really freaked out? Most polite thing to say.
Do you know what? That joke works if you don't do that. Do you know what? I thought you could never look more like a ventriloquist dummy. Do that again. You cheeky monkey! You go back in the box, eh?
Right, David, what do you reckon?
Yeah, well...
Is he telling the truth?
What do you think?
It could be true because of his face, but... No, I don't think you're ugly. I just think... No, I'm sorry. I just think that you've got a very unique face. No one will ever forget you.
How am I getting bullied by Jamelia? How did that happen?
So, David, what's your team deciding here?
I think it could be true.
I don't know. I don't trust you. You're a funny-looking fella.
Yeah, you see, that's the crucial detail.
Yeah. I'm edging towards a lie.
You're saying it's a lie?
Yeah.
OK. Jimmy Carr.
Well, I can tell you, it is a lie.
It's a lie. Prince Philip didn't tell Jimmy he was a funny-looking fellow at Wimbledon. What a moment. Perhaps the funniest man in Britain, known for his off-colour material, finally getting to meet Jimmy Carr.
Every Christmas, my dad makes the whole family stand up to watch the Queen's speech.
Lee's team, what do you think?
How many is in your family?
There's 2 brothers and sisters, and then 2 parents.
You look like you're lying about that.
No, I'm just trying to remember.
So he makes... There's 5 of you all stand for the Queen's
We all
speech.
stand.
Not just the national anthem at the beginning, the actual...
The whole speech. So when it goes on, we're all, you know, come on, hurry up, old woman. The old woman, he doesn't like us referring to her as that either.
Right.
We stand up.
Is that the only thing on Christmas Day that's got some sort of physical challenge element to it? Or do you have to hop throughout Indiana Jones?
They're just standing for the Queen's speech.
But why would that be? I mean, I know why
he's quite old-fashioned. He's living in a kind of like time warp. He's quite an old dad, and he's one of those people like he'll buy Spam and sit in the cellar because he misses the Blitz. He's like still thinks he's living in a bygone era.
How old is he, Jack?
He's 69 today, actually.
And how old are you?
20.
So basically, if you're 20 and your dad's 69, at the point that he conceived you, he must have thought there is a significant risk that this will kill me.
Jack, are you allowed to speak during the speech at all, or is it very much this is 50 minutes of silence?
Did you say 50? Did you say 50 minutes of silence? Is that the director's
15.
cut?
It's 10 at most, and they pad it out with music and
They do.
handshaking.
Yeah.
In terms of actual facts she's conveying, it's sort of 5.5 minutes, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And she talks slowly. She's bad at it. It's a shit programme.
Did you see that when the Queen met Obama and then everyone was... It was amazing. You saw her face just thinking, please don't talk to my husband.
Obama said about the Queen that he thought that she was surprisingly knowledgeable about politics, and she was clearly thinking, Nelson Mandela's looking well.
So, Lee, what are you thinking?
What do you think, Frankie?
Well, it sort of depends on how posh we think he is.
I think Jack is quite
Yeah, he's
posh.
quite posh, isn't he?
He sounds like a Korean man begging for help after a traffic accident. He's got that almost incomprehensible poshness about him.
Sorry, is that what conjures up poshness to you more than anything else? An injured Korean? Sounds to you incredibly posh.
To be honest, I can't understand a word you're saying.
Do you, Jack? Do you get to a point where you're so posh that you do without hairbrushes?
I found my depth sometimes because those protest things where they go on the marches and stuff. The only one I've ever been on was fox hunting, and there were people going around saying, you know, oh, this is a real cause, and you know there are more names on the pro fox hunting petition than there are on the anti one. I thought, yeah, because most people that sign it have triple-barrelled surnames.
Foxes are the great way to tell class, aren't they? Because if you see a fox in your back garden, if you're upper class, you get on a horse and chase it. If you're a middle-class person, you get your children to do a picture of it, maybe send it to Blue Peter. If you're working class, you beat it to death with a shovel and use it to make soup.
So, Lee, it's time to come down on one side or the other.
So what do we think? Is he telling the truth?
I think, yeah, he's probably telling the truth.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I think he's posh enough to be telling the truth.
Yes, we think he's telling the truth.
They're saying it's the truth. Jack, are you telling the truth or are you telling them a big lie?
It is, I'm going to stand, true.